Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. So I'm a little bit. I just got home today. I was here earlier. I did the unboxing video. Oh my. I did the unboxing video. I had kind of quite a day. It was a big city day today. Really. I mean, like living in New York or not necessarily Los Angeles. Well, a little bit of Los Angeles too. And I'll explain why. So it's a little bit of Los Angeles and New York City. So I went out, I had money this morning, I got the SEGA Genesis Mini, okay, with the controller here. Okay, I got it, I played it, I posted, right? Something definitely wasn't right with Street Fighter 2, okay? I had a big problem with Chun-Li. There was no big roundhouse to defend jumping Ryu. I could not get the fireballs to work, the flaming mouth, the flaming cloud or whatever, the fireballs with Dhalsim. Zangief did not grab Ryu at all. Castlevania was sort of fine. And so I actually don't remember Genesis. I originally thought that Sega Genesis had 3 buttons. Okay? But I went out and I got groceries. I said, I'm going to go out and get the groceries. It's been a great day. I got to play my games. No big deal. No problem. Right? But something wasn't right. I didn't really know. It took my brain a while to figure out. So I go to the first place. I went to Costco. I get soda. I look around. I got cheese. Soda and cheese. Good. The big debate today, do I get another sandwich? Last week, the big deal was buying a sandwich. Today, I had money, but do I buy a sandwich or not? I gotta go get soda, and I wanted to get cheese. So I bought cheese and I got the soda. I had to go to the bathroom a couple times, and it slowed me down. When I park at Costco, sometimes people do stuff, hang out in the parking lot. I can't elaborate, but sometimes, all of a sudden, you gotta go to the bathroom. So I go back in, I go to the bathroom. I leave, and I go to the other grocery store near here, okay? I go in, and I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom again. What do I buy? I have what I think I need. What else do I buy? Because I was preparing today to come home and make something with the ingredients that I have. But I had to go to the bathroom again. And I kept going like, I'm okay, now I gotta go. I'm okay, now I gotta go. So I bought some candy. I bought some Juji fruits and Nerds. They were on sale, so I bought them. I leave, and what happens? I still need to go to the regular grocery store. And I know exactly what I need to buy. I'm gonna get some vegetables, or one vegetable, and maybe a couple candy bars, because somehow I bought a lot of candy bars 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said I'll get some more candy bars. Because when I go up to the casino, sometimes it's good to have a little snack, like a candy bar. If you go to the convenience store, sometimes they can be as much as $2 or $3, not 2 or 3 times as much. I don't know. It's always more expensive, and sometimes you don't actually have the money when you go to the convenience store to buy a candy bar. You're lower than that or whatever. So if I just have a candy bar, it's better. And I somehow ate not too many, but I ate more than I thought. So I buy candy bars and celery, okay? I go to the register. I don't have enough cash from going to Costco and going to the grocery store. Because I only took a certain amount that I wanted to spend in order to have enough cash to do whatever else. I didn't think I'd need any other cash for anything else. I just said, buy the little groceries that I need. But I bought cheese. I bought expensive cheese, okay? Costco has expensive cheese. I bought a large piece of expensive cheese. So that was it. So I said, I gotta go home. But instead of going home, at the last minute, I said, I might as well get gas for my car, okay? I can put the gas on the card, I'll go get gas. So I went and I got gas, and I had a cup of coffee. I got a cup of coffee, and I got gas. Okay, no big deal. No big deal, really. Kitty corner from there is a GameStop. And I wanted to go in and talk to the specialist of the GameStop to find out if they know anything about this old Genesis Mini, which is new, but it's an older game, Street Fighter 2. Very popular, one of the most popular games, because I had to figure out, I didn't necessarily want to ask specifically, how do you do this move, right? But I thought maybe, I don't know, I could just go in and talk about playing Street Fighter 2 and Castlevania Bloodlines. Just say, hey, what's up? Because that's the exchange of information. You go into the stores, you talk to the specialist about the games, what's going on. A lot of the stuff they know is about the new games, but I thought, hey, maybe there's like an older, somebody who's older, my age or around, who's played some of these older games. There's Capcom and Genesis and Super Nintendo, all that stuff. However, to get there, it's almost impossible to get gas, or even just to go to the gas station and still somehow get to that shopping area. It's like there's a double block on the entire corner. So if you go out one way, you got to make a right, and if you make a left, you can't get back into that shopping area. The only way is to make a right-hand turn or 2 right-hand turns or whatever to get in, okay? When you go out, you can make a right and then a right again, but you can't get back. And I'd already made a U-turn just to get into the gas station, because there's no way coming up the other way to get to the gas station. If you make a left, you're blocked again at the left. So you have to be going the opposite way and make a right, or make a right and at the light and then a left, or be coming back and make a right. So I guess if you went to the shopping area first and then you came back to get gas, but I wanted to get gas first. And I got a cup of coffee. I went in, it was, somehow no big deal, whatever. I left, but then I had to drive around and I couldn't figure out. The streets did not make sense to me. So, because part of the streets go into kind of like, not like shopping areas or whatever. And I couldn't get back. I was like trying to get back. So finally, I got back, I got there. I go in, there's a guy there. It's like, hey, he's on the phone, he's got to go into the back. It's, it's totally different, So, I somehow just started looking on my phone, and I'm like digging in. What's this game? And what I realized is there's so many different versions of Street Fighter 2. They kept coming out with different limited edition games. Maybe technically they weren't limited edition, but they were for this console or that console, or for a new one for the arcade. Even this one, you've got the Championship Edition, maybe Special Edition, Championship Edition. I can't really remember. But I was able to figure out that the Street Fighter 2 that I used to play at an arcade stand-a game had 6 buttons, not even 4. I thought there were 4. There were 6 buttons. I was like, oh my God, I can't even remember that. So I said, I got a problem. How can a game automate fighting from 6 buttons to 3, right? Because they would have to automate it. Like here you would punch, and then somehow the computer or something would kick instead of punch or whatever. You just press the 3 buttons. But no wonder I couldn't get the fireball to work. I'm like, why can't I get Dhalsim's fireball to work? I kept getting beat over and over and over by Ryu. I'm like, why is this happening? Ryu's doing the Shoryuken, the throws, the power balls. I mean, the shooting power balls, energy balls, the energy balls. I'm like, just nothing was working. Chun-Li, I'm like, I remember Chun-Li kicking. And so eventually I talked to the guy. I'm like, how am I going to fix this, right? But I go and I find that I can get another controller. So I'm like, great, I got to fix this. But once again, I'd already spent my money on the groceries, and I didn't have enough for at least one of the candy bars, just one of the candy bars at the grocery store. So I got to run home. I got to go back. I got to figure out to get this now, because the longer I play with the 3-button controller on a game that needs 6 buttons, I'm just going to play worse and worse and worse. And I also didn't know if the original SEGA Genesis only had 3 buttons. Maybe some of the other games are only 3 buttons. I don't know. I actually don't know. So it's confusing because I can't remember. Like maybe the Street Fighter game originally in the arcade had 6 buttons, but on Genesis somehow there was only 3 buttons. because I remember Genesis controllers only having 3 buttons, because Nintendo had 2 buttons, A and B, and then Genesis came out right after that as a more advanced 16-bit system, and I thought they only added 1 button. I can't remember. And then after that, there was PlayStation and Xbox with all the extra buttons on them. PlayStation had, the 4-button controller and the upper finger things and everything. I was like, I can't remember, and I didn't follow the GameCube, or I followed the Xbox and the PlayStation a little bit, right? And I knew they added 4, so you went from 2 to 3 to 4, controller buttons, and then on top you had the 2 extra left and right, which was 4 additional buttons. I mean, how do you count that many buttons? And then the joystick kind of changed. Instead of having the touchpad, you had the, sort of the finger kind of thing that rolls around or whatever. Anyway, so I'm just all mixed up. I can't figure any of this stuff out. So I come home, I get money, I go back, I get to buy it on Amazon. So I got it on Amazon, and I come home, and I got to bring up the cooler of stuff, and I'm like, I put the cheese in the refrigerator, right? Because I got to get in the refrigerator. I reach in, and I have this vent, something that goes up to the freezer or the cooling. Somehow it's not covered. It's like tangled metal. It's not tangled technically, but it's uncovered, and it's got holes and different points in it. It's not just a straight bar of metal in there, so it's craggy almost. I don't think it's rusting, but it's like an exposed component basically. That's it. It's like something had a cover on it. The cover was removed. You got holes and corners and angles of metal, and somehow reaching back there to try to fit and put the cheese where I want it, I scrape my finger on it, and it totally hurts. I just yell out swearing. I'm just like, I cannot, what's happened? I'm running around. I can't figure out I get this brand new awesome game console. 40 games plus 2 free games, 2 controllers. I'm ready to play. Everything's great. I'm having a little bit of trouble beating Ryu. Like, I can't figure out why. I don't remember. It's an older game from my childhood, my teenage years, whatever. And I end up running around. I just run around all day. I mean, the day's almost over. It's 4:30, right? But I try to fix it as best I could. But right when I get home, just totally blow my finger. I'm just like, the whole thing just is, it's overwhelming. It's too much, So, there's nothing I can really do, right? My skin scrapes off. I'm like, I got to put the Band-Aid on. I'm like, it still hurts. Then when I put the Band-Aid on, it feels cold, and it looks like it's going to turn blue, like I'm cutting off the circulation. I'm like, I did not put this Band-Aid on too tight, right? I've grown up. I know that I don't put the Band-Aids on too tight. Sometimes I do. If I'm in a rush or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I put them on. But most of the time, I don't put the Band-Aid on too tight. So I'm like, why does it feel like the Band-Aid's on too tight? I can't figure this out. So I come in here, I'm like, all I got to do is just sit down and play the video games. But I know the controller's not right for at least one game, maybe the others. I have no idea. Did Genesis change from 3-button to 6-button or 6-button to 3-button? What exactly happened? I don't know. I figure out how much cash I have. I've got problems with that. My numbers aren't working. My counting isn't working. I'm like, do I just run up to the casino? But I didn't get actually that many groceries this week, So I really don't know. And the whole idea earlier of just playing the video game console, which, I bought. It was $64, with tax, okay? And then just going to Costco and getting, some stuff at Costco. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to come home. I know exactly what I'm going to make. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to use both the roasting pan in the oven and the crock pot. It's all set. I'm going to go right now to the grocery store and get it all, and I'm going to be done. It's going to be a good day. And the whole thing just, going to the bathroom. Don't go to this grocery store, just get some candy, go to the other grocery store. I go to the other grocery store, I'm like, I don't have enough money anymore. Whatever I was going to buy earlier just, doesn't even work anymore. And in the back of my mind, I got to go figure out this controller thing because I'm not playing Street Fighter 2. I'm terrible at Street Fighter 2. None of the characters are kicking at all. None of the moves are working. Like it's in the back of my brain. Like, what's going on, I finally figure it out. And when I get home to sit down and rest, have a soda, rest, sit at home, I still have to bring up stuff, the soda from the car or whatever. I mean, because, it's tough to find a parking spot. I got to go out there. I can only bring up what I got. So, and I just totally blow my finger. It's just all, the craggy metal or whatever, just does not feel good. So and then I gotta worry about the Band-Aid application. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense. I gotta sit down. So I don't know how much more of this I should play. If I'm gonna amp up and get mad again or whatever. I mean, I was sort of having fun because it was the first game and the first time I played in, many years on a console sort of at home, where I can play more than once or whatever. And the whole thing is just I have no idea. So anyway, that's my rant. I'll probably try to play, but I gotta find a game. It's like I need the phone more to make sure the games that I play don't have more than 3 buttons. There's a workaround. Okay, they did a workaround on Street Fighter. Somehow I don't understand this. While you're playing, they said if you press the start button, okay, it alternates to kicking and punching. So I think it starts out with punching. It would mean in the middle of the fighting, right? You'd press start and then you would go to kicks. But I think in terms of long-term gameplay, right? If you're going to try to beat a player like Ryu, you're not going to be fast enough to switch back and forth between punch and kick. I mean, like Chun-Li, as soon as Ryu jumps, if you're on a punch because you want to throw the energy ball or the energy ball back at Ryu, I think you got to do punches, right? But if he jumps towards you to skip the energy ball, while he's jumping or as he jumps, you're gonna have to press start, and then I think back and C or whatever for the roundhouse, to defend the jump. Because Chun-Li, when the guy jumps for it, she spins around and does the roundhouse as Ryu is coming towards her, jumping, and whether he's kicking or not, he gets knocked back. And that's how Chun-Li is powerful against Ryu, is that she does that roundhouse when Ryu jumps forward towards her. And occasionally if he misses on a Shoryuken, if Ryu does because the later versions of Street Fighter 2, those Shoryukens, both Ken and Ryu could fly almost 2 or 3 widths of characters across the screen. And so, characters just sitting, defending and sort of in the energy ball range or the energy, shot range or whatever. And Ken or Ryu would just do this massive, almost like a sideways Shoryuken, and it's like, they're that character's done. So for a player like Chun-Li, she's got to be able to shoot the energy ball. But as soon as Ryu jumps or tries to go for that Shoryuken, if he's going to miss, Chun-Li wants to do that back roundhouse and knock him back, and then she can do other moves or whatever. But, I mean, you would not have any time to switch back. I mean, you're talking about, toggling, buttons back and forth. So, it's kind of just, and even online, I saw the same console, but it was like, 30, 35 or 45 more dollars, for the extra controllers. I'm like, that's like that's almost a 50% markup or over 50% markup. I'm like, this thing has totally changed. I went from the console that I could get instead of an Xbox or a PlayStation. Even thinking about going and getting a used old console, right? I'm like, 42 games, this is great. No big deal, no problem. Go home and play. Is it going to play? Will it play? And the whole thing is just, it's like crushing to see it online with the controller that's compatible with the games that I'm playing. And it's, $50 more or whatever, 45 or whatever dollars more. I'm just like, but that's not even with tax, So, I don't know, I guess I'm going to try, I'll try to see, maybe I can use the Amazon Fire to search whatever game. I don't remember. Maybe Road Rash only has 3 buttons. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, Road Rash 2, maybe it only has 3 buttons. I can't even remember, you know, whether it had 6 buttons or 3. I mean, if it's a new console, I thought it would only go up by 1 button. I mean, I don't know, you know. I mean, the retro becomes this whole new thing, dude. It's not even retro. You know, what is this doing? Oh, they're cooking. They're doing family night cooking. It looks like they got a pumpkin cake. Oh, let's watch the pumpkin cake. Look at this pumpkin cake. This is cool. It's almost as good as those cakes you see that have like the, like the miracle design that looks like it's a real item, but it looks like they actually did it themselves. It's pretty cool. It looks really good. I mean, how cool is that? Pumpkin cake hype. I don't know. I mean, cooking dinner now, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up some of these titles. I knew it's so tough. I mean, they get so technical. They both have 3 buttons. The music, man. Once everything goes haywire like this, you know, listen to that heavy house music. You cannot listen to that techno, that heavy house, whatever you want to call it, man. It just doesn't work for me, man. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to listen to this very long. And I can't convert anything on the Fire to the iPhone, so I won't be able to save stuff. I mean, I'm wondering, some of these games I've never actually heard of, not necessarily before. Like, I wanted to play Virtua Fighter. How many buttons does Virtua Fighter have? Virtua Fighter 2, if Street Fighter 2 has 6 buttons, Virtua Fighter 2 has to have more than 3 buttons. There was actually a really fun game as a kid. I think it was on arcade. I don't know if they ever really was able to port it, but it's called Paperboy. It was actually kind of a cool game. You basically rode the bike down the road and threw the newspapers in a bag, in an imaginary bag, on the yards or at the door of the people. I'm actually going to see if I can find that now. It's sort of been made fun of, but it was one of these arcade games that was unbelievable. And then they tried to get it onto the not the ports or whatever, but I'm gonna try YouTube. Is there a gaming? I don't know. They won't. I don't think. Oh, I'll try Twitch. They won't have it because it's arcade. You need to have like an old video. They tried to port that, okay, but it never really had the same. I mean, because if people weren't, it was really tough to be good at it. So you couldn't really be good at it. So I mean, it was like there were other games that were opposite, right? There was Lode Runner, which wasn't ever actually an arcade game at all, really. But it was the same. It was like the opposite. Like you could play it on a computer or a console, but it did not act very well on a standing machine. See, I have to type classic. Classic. But you see, then, like, somehow the Paperboy, I mean, getting a job as a Paperboy, I mean, classic Paperboy. Arcade. See, they want to do Nintendo. It was not a Nintendo. They put it on NES. It was not the same. So I have to do arcade. I'm going to guess arcade game. And they got this. Here we go. Stand up. Atari's game cabinet from '84. Let's see Joe.
In these parts, Ford honors the brave ones, the loggers, fur traders, and homesteaders who built our communities, the adventure seekers who kept going where...
See, there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade game video for you today.
It had the bike.
This is Atari's
like the bike
classic
handles.
1984 Paperboy arcade game.
You got the newspaper with like
you don't
the,
see
the
these too
Paperboy
often
character on there.
anymore. This thing has become pretty collectible over the years. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. Show
It looks like they got a key or a lanyard, so you can do free play. I have to warn you ahead of time, I suck at this game. This thing is so damn hard. It's just evil. But anyway, we'll mess with it here in a little bit. If you've ever played it on the Nintendo, you probably already know how hard it is. This doesn't actually belong to us. Like a lot of the videos we've been filming lately of some of this really cool stuff, this belongs to our buddy Adam at the beach. He's at Myrtle Beach. He's got a store down there called Player's Choice Video Games in the mall where he has a bunch of arcade games that he actually See, it had bike handlebars.
So, sure
so you try to, and I think it might have had a pedal. I don't know.
And so what he
but
does
you had to like get the bike to go.
And get it
and
up
somehow
and
throw. You had a button. You could throw the paper.
He will put them in his store.
Let's see if
in
he
our
plays.
Store, we don't really. We repair a lot and we sell a lot, but we don't really operate them. He operates them at his store. So, we got this one in, and we filmed a video of us repairing it, which I will upload later.
There's the, so you can see the newspaper, like, oh, the Paperboy's doing so well. I guess he gets in the paper he's delivering. I mean, I know the newspaper's delivering.
This thing, I do not believe that's the original side art. I think it's been replaced, pretty sure. But it looks great.
Let's see if he plays this. I want to see if he plays.
Now, this was their System 2 games, which there, strangely enough, were only 2 in this cabinet. I think there were other System 2 games, but the only 2 that came in this cabinet were Paperboy and Championship Sprint. We've done a video of a Championship Sprint on here before, but I don't think it had the side art, but that was the side art. And then they designed them so that you could just swap, like if you bought Paperboy, you could turn it into a Championship Sprint by getting a different control panel that came with it. And there's a little door down there on the bottom that you can remove some screws to take off and mount the pedals for Championship Sprint inside the cabinet. So you could play, you could swap between the 2 games. The only other thing you would have to do is change the board inside and change the sign up top. Now this bezel that's on it is an aftermarket thing, but it looks really good. The original monitor has been replaced. This is an LCD, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. The original CRT tube monitor had like a black bezel around it, but when they replaced it with the LCD, somebody very smartly put this, it was just a plain bezel, but somebody put this bezel with the art and stuff around it, which frames out the LCD really nice, makes it look really good. So whoever did that, bravo. Now usually I don't like LCDs in games, typically, or in LED monitors. I like the original stuff. But when you're talking about Paperboy in particular, it used a special monitor. It used a medium resolution monitor. And because of that, there were only a few games that used a 19-inch medium resolution monitor. So if you get one of these and you're missing the monitor, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, this is a refurbished deal. I mean, you can't even find these anymore. Where do you find them?
They don't make them new anymore. And then it's hard to even find an original one because they were only in a few games. So you run into a situation where if the original monitor is too far gone to be rebuilt, usually you can save them. Usually you can, I think you can even do a tube swap with the wrong type of CRT with like a standard tube, as long as you have the medium resolution chassis and the medium resolution yoke. Are they going to stop? I think they're going to stop. But if for whatever reason you don't have the original monitor that was in it, you're going to play hell finding one, a used one, and you're never going to find a new one.
Play this.
So one of your options is you can put an LCD in. So it was either this game didn't work.
See if he plays. Oh, we're going to talk about the game. Let's just see if he plays. I just want to see the action of the game. Okay, let's see. It was tough. You had to go slow, and then you were supposed to go fast. You got break dancers in there. See, he's throwing the papers, but they're missing. He's got to get it on the porch. No. See, he's throwing too many papers. He's got to throw one paper. It's got to get right on the porch.
That one. Damn it! You can't go back.
And you had to ride the bike too. He breaks windows. I don't know if this is the original. It doesn't look like the graphics are really the same, but I can't remember.
Missed another one.
So you got the guy breaking in. That was a big deal. The burglars. So do you hit him with the paper and you win? I don't know.
Okay, I'm not using enough papers before I get mine.
It's just an out there game, dude. That's all I'm saying, man. Yeah, training grounds. I mean, it was like too difficult, man.
Whoops.
Let's see if I can find a better version. See, this is sort of the Nintendo. Oh, here's one. It's John's Arcade. So here we got Joe's Classic and John's Arcade. Let's see what John has to say.
With 0 sugar and 25 grams of protein.
Got to go lift weights.
Muscle milk helps build muscles.
Hey guys, we are in the basement and I want to show you guys a game. Actually, I bought this game late last year and the game is called Paperboy, and it's a great game by Atari. And like I said, I had this game, I got it last year sometime, and it worked great. But the problem was the monitor. The monitor took forever to warm up, so I decided, hey, I'm going to try to fix this monitor, and I was going to put new caps in it, which is something you typically do to monitors because the capacitors go bad over time. And so I got into it, and the machine came with a Atari Disco medium resolution monitor. And Atari Disco monitors, first of all, are just known to be the crap of monitors. As far as monitors go, they're just garbage. And so I got into it, and it turned out I had a one-of-a-kind monitor. The caps didn't line up, and I ended up replacing a bunch of caps, and they were the wrong values. Anyway, I got to a point where I couldn't return to where I was. So I started looking for a new monitor. And anyway, I wanted to replace the Disco because the Disco sucks. So it took me a while, actually, because this uses a medium resolution monitor. And it has a higher resolution than a typical arcade monitor, which has a standard resolution monitor. And so this game, like a lot of the Atari games from this era, and this is from 1984, use medium resolution monitors and allow them to have crisper graphics, more pixels on the screen. And but the monitors themselves are not cheap. If you find someone selling just the medium res monitor, they usually want $300 for it, or $250 or something crazy like that. So I tried my darndest to get it to work and to find parts and things, and it just wasn't going very well. And then a friend of mine alerted me to a Craigslist listing that had a Narc, which is a Williams game from the late 80s, early 90s, whatever it was. But that game had a medium resolution monitor, and so there was a broken Narc on Craigslist for $75. I picked that up. The monitor worked great. I put it in the Paperboy, and I'm back in business. So here we are. So what is Paperboy? Well, like I said, it's a game from Atari. It's from 1984, and it's a very cool game, actually. This was a game that I actually played a lot as a kid. And you know what the funny story is? When my parents used to go camping a lot when I was a kid, and we went almost every weekend, and it's probably where I played most of the video games I played in the 80s was at campgrounds. And there was this one campground in Galena, Illinois, that had a Paperboy, and my dad was pulling into the campground, and I said, hey, drop us off at the little game room. My sister and I want to go play Paperboy. And well, the car didn't come to a complete stop, and my sister jumped out, and my dad actually ended up running over her leg. True story. And he actually stopped, and she was in the car was on top of her, on her ankle, not her body. But and so it was like, oh my God, what do we do? So my dad pulled forward, and luckily she was fine. She was a little bruised up. Her ankle was all bruised and stuff. But that's what I think of when I think of Paperboy. And it's funny how you relate certain games to moments in your childhood. But that definitely is the story for Paperboy for me. So anyway, what is Paperboy? Paperboy. Well, it's a pretty cool game, and you are, believe it or not, a Paperboy. And it has kind of a cool control scheme here. It has these bicycle handlebars, and back here, if you can see that, there's a button. And so what you do is you hold it like a bicycle when you push this button to throw papers. And the papers come out of there, and what you need to do is deliver papers to your subscribers, and you want to wreak havoc and cause all sorts of damage on the non-subscriber houses, and that's how you get big points. And you actually go through an entire week as a Paperboy, Monday through Sunday, and the game ends after you complete Sunday. Actually, I've never even done it. That's how much I suck at the game. But the game does not go on forever. So basically, you have a finite amount of time to get as many points as you can. And so you definitely want to wreak as much havoc as you can on the non-subscriber houses and then deliver as many papers as you can to the subscribers. So anyway, why don't I set up the tripod, turn off the lights, and show you how it plays. Okay, so let's start the game. So we're going to start the game. And there's basically 3 levels of play: Easy Street, Middle Road, and Hard Way. I always play Easy Street because I suck at the game. And so here it is. Here's an overview of our customers. All of the non-black houses are subscribers, and the black houses are non-subscribers, and you want to wreak damage on them. So basically what you do is you're controlling this kid on a bicycle, and you want to deliver the paper on the front door of every house. And also, each house has a mailbox. If you can get the paper into there, you get bonus points. But it's a little risky, though, because it's a harder shot, and sometimes you'll miss the house altogether, or you'll break a window, and if you do that, you will lose them as a subscriber. Now, this is a non-subscriber right here. I just crashed into a bush. The black houses are non-subscribers, and what you want to do is just pummel that house with papers, run over their plants, their flowers, and you get actually bonus points for doing that. So, and you want to break their windows. And if you look up here, you do have a finite amount of papers, and you can run out of them, but if you pick up a bundle right there, it'll replenish your ammo. Okay, so there, I got that in the mailbox.
How does he do that? 250 right there, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
For hitting the breakdancer, you get bonus points for running over flowers, breaking the statues and stuff in front of the non-subscriber houses. And then we have to cross the street here, so we're about halfway done with the first day. And kill the big wheel guys. Knock over the garbage cans, you get points for that. And really, that's the whole game, but it just gets progressively harder. And I mean, this game is actually not easy. Even on the easy level, it's pretty tough. And, oh shit. I'm actually not this bad, but alright, so we're about to finish the first day, and then after you do that, you come to a bonus screen, the training course. It's actually pretty cool. So what you do is you hit these ramps, and you shoot the targets, and you want to try to get to the end without crashing. And if you do crash, the training course ends, and you don't get as big of a bonus. And so there we go. We finished the training course, and there's a timer up here, and you get bonus points for how quickly you finish. And then you see there I got a breakage bonus. So for all the damage that I did to the non-subscribers, I got extra points. And you can see I just lost 2 subscribers because I didn't deliver the paper to their house properly. And it's actually possible to have no subscribers, and the game doesn't end. The game just ends when you run out of life, or when you run out of lives, or when you get to the end of the week. So here we are on Tuesday, and Tuesday is just a little bit harder than Monday. It just kind of ramps up all the way to Sunday. I just missed that house there. Gotta get those papers. Can't go backwards, which actually sucks. Alright. So let's do some damage. So I have no papers right now. I'm out. Alright, just got a bundle. Those cats suck. I'm not doing very well here. But you know what? I never do well in any of these game demos.
Where am I?
So anyway, you know, that's the gist of it, you know. It's just a really fun game, and it's kind of unique. I love games like this that have like these kind of unique controllers. You know, this isn't something you can do in MAME. You know, what are you gonna do? Set up a bicycle handlebar USB joystick. So there you guys have it. That is Paperboy, and that's that's it. Visit my site at johnsarcade.com. I want to thank everyone that has subscribed, and also I want to give a shout out to Pete Dorr and Gamester81. These guys are totally cool. They've been featuring me on their little podcast page, which has really helped my subscription numbers. So I really want to thank you guys for doing that. And also, they just started a podcast, and it's called All Gen Gamers. That's allgengamers.com. So check out their podcast, guys, and definitely subscribe to their pages. That's Pete Dorr and Gamester. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you around later.
All right. So the other one I want to watch is Load Runner. Load Runner was kind of a computer. It might have been on an arcade for a day. No, Spy Hunter or Load Runner? Not Load Runner, Spy Hunter. Sorry. Clear that. Load Runner was more popular on the computer. I'm talking about Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter Arcade. Here we go. Spy Hunter. That's video. We want to look at it on here. Watch a pro. We'll watch Joe.
All right, my spooky friends.
And I got a sore throat. I got to go get something to drink.
I put some spooky sounds on my doorbell.
That's me. See? Me.
No, I wasn't really scared of that so much as it kind of warmed my heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade game video for you this evening. We have finally finished up our Spy Hunter, as you may have seen in our previous videos, but we haven't filmed us playing it yet, so we figured we'd do a video kind of showing off what the game was all about. And then we've invited our buddy Matt, who's pretty good at Spy Hunter, to come by and play it for us. So you want to get to see some game footage of somebody who's actually decent at playing it instead of me. I'm not very good at it, but fortunately he was able to step in and show us how it's done. He's not the world champion or anything like that, but he's pretty good at it. So if you saw our previous videos, you know we touched up a lot of the paint on the game. These things just have an incredible look, which we were able to get it back kind of how it's supposed to be. The lucky part was all of this part in the middle here was still in great shape. So you've got the two spies here doing their thing, looking good doing it. Helicopters. They don't show the boat. And there is a boat, which you will see here in a minute. It says G6155 CIA prototype interceptor with SU Marine counterpart. There's the boat. Dual 50 caliber continuous fire Leon type machine guns. That's on the front. Surface to air infrared heat seeking Tomcat BC missiles. 800 horsepower DOHC double overhead cam, twin turbo, bar fuel injected JCK engine. Okay. Z80 based, that's cool. Z80 based Tom J total control system. Audio systems by Z80 based, that's the microprocessor that makes the game board work. High density number 122557 military spec KO smoked green. AG style dual port oil slicked ejectors. So we'll read the instructions so you can see how you're supposed to play it, and then we'll have our buddy Matt play it, and you'll see how it's actually played. I was mentioning before, I don't know if I mentioned it, I think I mentioned it on the last video, these will glow in the dark. These are blacklight reactive, but there's no blacklight on the cabinet, so they must have been planning on that, but never actually did it. Okay, instructions. Insert coins. To start game, press the flashing button in the center of the steering wheel. Enemy vehicles are dark blue. Destroying civilian vehicles will result in no score, so you don't get anything for that, and will prevent the appearance of the weapons van in that territory. So don't do it, people. Weapons. Weapons available are indicated on the front panel. So it lights up. Very cool. To obtain additional weapons, weapons van appears as player enters new territory. Player must drive into van when ramps are extended. Okay. To obtain additional weapons van, press button on the steering wheel when lit. Flashing light on front panel indicates approaching weapons van. Controls: right trigger is the machine gun. The right thumb button is the smoke screen. The left trigger is the missiles, and the left thumb button is the oil slick. Hence, vehicles traveling at the same speed may safely bump other vehicles off the road. Player may change his vehicle to a speedboat by taking side road and entering the boathouse. So, we've got everything on it working and doing its thing, but we need to test it out. So we're going to have Matt so we're going to have Matt play it a little bit here for us, and we'll see how far he can get.
What if I don't do too good?
Okay, folks, I'm here with my buddy Matt, and he's going to play Spy Hunter because he owns one. So he's telling me that he's so good.
You're not proving this.
Yeah, I am. He's telling me, oh, he's so good. So we're going to see. He's going to tell me if it's broke or if anything's wrong with it. He's trying to put a credit on it now. Oh, it doesn't have a credit button.
Oh.
You just got to hit the coin switch. He owns one of these, and he can't find a coin switch. Unbelievable. How many credits you want? 3 ought to be enough, I mean, if you're an expert. All right, so he's going to show us how it is done, people.
This is broke.
It's not broke. I just fixed it. All right, so this is how you play for real, people.
Clamp down.
Oh, yeah, the control panel.
Oh, yes.
Oh, will that make you better if I clamp it down? If it's an issue, we can clamp it down.
We'll see. I usually don't pull back on the joystick. I mean, the steering wheel.
Oh, no, I think you're going to be overrated. We'll see. Oh, he about got you. He tried to snipe you. Weapons van. Oh, yeah, I never even thought about that, but I think I've seen people do that before. It may have been you that I saw do it.
Yeah. Problem is you don't get any points for it.
Oh, we got him with the oil slick. Which, by the way, was black like it's supposed to be because the road is gray like it's supposed to be. I made a big point about that in the previous video. See, I never would have even got this far. Oh. Now, the guys on the bikes, are you supposed to hit them? Okay, so they're friendly.
Good guys.
And you do have to hit the weapons van button to get the van to pull in front of you?
Yep, at least that's it's a habit.
Well, it must be there for something.
I think you do.
I think you do. I was thinking that. I was playing it earlier and was thinking that. I think you have to hit the button because, you know what's a shame? We had the pinball too, and they don't use the sound on the pinball. It plays the beginning of it, but it doesn't.
See that?
Oh yeah, you cheating.
You see the boss comes up. Ah, got too brave. The boss comes comes up if you stay on the side.
Oh, okay. The yeah, on the pinball it plays the theme, but just the main part. You know how this one does like kind of alternate bits of it and variations on it? The pinball doesn't do that.
So now I have nothing. I've got to maintain a certain speed.
Well, we know you have nothing. We're watching.
So now I should get some rockets.
A guy was showing me on, or telling me on YouTube that the missiles button wasn't working because it was working as a machine gun. They had rigged it up. If you, that's why the control panel's unlatched. They had rigged it up where both buttons were the machine gun.
Crap! I don't have no missiles. I don't have no missiles. If you have oil, at this point it becomes fire.
Oh, really? Well, you messed that up for us. That would have been great for the video. And believe me, I wouldn't have got anywhere near this far.
You can't go too fast. The little bombs will get you. It's getting ready to open up.
There's your missiles.
When you take out the chopper, you fire it when it's directly over the truck, or over your car, I mean. Instead of right at the top of the screen.
So what's it do? It shoots straight up in the air?
Yep.
All right. So anyway, watch some of the video games. Oh man. I thought I turned this on. I don't know if I have the energy to play. I don't actually know. I think I need to research some of these games because I don't actually know which ones have 3 buttons or not. I can get this to work. Might get tired, I don't know. Just playing Castlevania. Why don't I try Contra? I don't know. I'm going to actually look at Virtua Fighter. I'm going to try Virtua Fighter. Was pretty good, but I don't know. I think it's definitely more than 3 buttons. I gotta figure this out. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I didn't mean that. Oh wow, this is different. I don't remember this being Virtua Fighter as much. I don't know. Oh, beats me in the air. Oh, no mercy. Oh, he slams. Wow, Jeffrey, dude. It's over, man. That guy just totally... He did a throw. I don't know. I haven't been able to do any throws. So I was trying to toggle. He's just in the middle of a huge uppercut right there. Oh, and the straight kick. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, I did it. Oh, come on. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. All right, I'm too much into this. I got to stop. I don't have the right buttons. I definitely think Virtua Fighter has more than 3 buttons based on these moves. I remember these moves in the arcade. This is definitely different. I'm going to have to go look about this. Getting those throws are so tough. You don't know whether the throws should happen or shouldn't. I'm going to let this timer run out. I'm going to stop there, and I got to figure out these games. I got to see about that other controller. It's too difficult to play. I hope you're doing well, and I got to just kind of rest and relax or whatever. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.